I've been in your waters.
What is popping, guys, and welcome back to another tattoo tips video. So guys, everybody seems to ask me what I'm using, so I've decided to put out a definitive video to show you guys what I am currently using right now. But first, guys, I'd just like to address the previous video I put out, which is the 2K competition. Now, I'll put this on the community page, but I'd just like to reiterate in this video, that competition is to come and watch me tattoo. However, people overseas may not be able to get over to watch me tattoo, and to be honest, it might just not be feasible, so they haven't entered into the competition. However, guys, do not worry. If you are overseas and you win the 2K competition to come and watch me tattoo, there will be a alternative prize for you guys. So guys, go over, enter the 2K subs, make sure you're a sub to the channel, and head over to Instagram and drop me a follow. That will get you entry into the competition. Also guys, do not forget, I am now doing one-on-one personal seminars. You can drop me a message on the email below in the description box, and I will send you all the relative information, and if you want to get booked in, we can get that sorted. So guys, what am I using? Well, if you are a long-time sub, you will know that my tattoo machine of choice currently is the Bishop wand. I just love this tattoo machine. I've been using it now for about a year. I do alternate between this and a rook quill depending on what I'm doing. The rook quill also is a great tattoo machine. I have done a review on the rook quill. If you want to go and check that out, it is here. It is a really good machine. But yes guys, my current tattoo daily workhorse is mainly the Bishop wand. I just love this machine. It is good for shading, it is good for lining. Now, I wouldn't say that it pushes bigger groupings with ease. However, I can push up to an 11 round shader relatively easy. If you go in any higher than that, you're probably gonna come into some problems. That's where the Bishop wand liner would come into play, or even the packer. But for me, I'm a realism artist, so I'm not using big mags. An 11 round shader for lining is as big as I go. Weight of the machine is awesome. It just does everything that I need it to do. However, I am thinking about going up to the wand packer just for the longer stroke length of 4.2, I think it is. I'm just finding myself wanting a little bit more punch in a machine in certain situations, especially if I'm doing a full day sitting and I don't want to be there for 14, 15 hours depending on what I'm doing. A wand packer will give me that little bit extra oomph that I need just to put the tones in a little bit quicker. However, if you are new to black and grey, I would highly recommend the Bishop wand shader. It's a lot softer machine, gives you a lot more build up time on skin without overworking. Okay guys, the needles I am currently using now, I have used a ton of different brands of needles, and these are the ones that I keep coming back to. I am using Cheyenne cartridges, and I am using Quadrant cartridges. The Quadrants, I love their liners. I always get long tapered bug pin liners, and they are pucker. The Quadrant cartridges are really good. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, sometimes I can pull a needle out and it is questionable, it's not very tight, but it doesn't happen very often, and Quadrant are generally spot on for the needles they produce. Now, I use Cheyenne for their 7 mags and I use Cheyenne for their round shaders. However, I have also used Quadrant's round shaders. They are both equally as good. I love the round shaders. I am also using Cheyenne for 15 curved mags, both bug pins. However, Cheyenne is a 10 gauge bug pin, and the Quadrant bug pins possibly might be 8 gauge, but I'm not sure on that. So to sum up guys, I'm using Quadrant liners, Quadrant round shaders, and I'm using Cheyenne mags and Cheyenne round shaders. Oh, I also have some free liners in the Cheyenne also, just as backup for the quadrants. Swiftly moving on to the ink, this is what I'm using. I'm using the Silverback Insta range. Now I love the Insta range. It goes from 1 to 10 plus black, so you get a full range across the board of everything you possibly might need, making it easy to pick the numbers that you want to use. I am currently using 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and black. 2 is on the lighter end of things. I only use that really for saturation and blending. My general light tone is going to be a number 4. A number 4, I know, once the tattoo's healed, it is still going to be visible. Now I've used Silverback for that long that I just want to try something a little bit different, so there is 2 other brands that I'm thinking about using, that being World Famous and Empire. But guys, as of this video right now, I am still using the Silverback Insta range, and it is amazing. It is an amazing grey wash. Odds are I'll probably stay on Silverback. The World Famous or the Empire would have to be pretty damn special for me to move on to the next one. This, guys, is my white. Now when it comes to white, guys, I do not care at all what brand it is. The only thing that I like is that the white needs to be nice and thick, just so when I put it in with a free liner around eyes or on any light areas or anything like that, I know that it's going to show up pretty damn pucker. With a thinner white, you generally don't get the nice bright whites, so I like a nice thick one. Now it's not like massively thick or anything, it's not like the old Mickey Sharps inks that are like super thick, but just on the thicker side of things. I'm currently using this Radiant Color White, and it seems to be doing the job just fine. Up next, we have my Stencil solution. Now I've used this Stencil solution for around 6 years maybe. I have never changed from it, and that is Electrum Stencil Primer. I never moved away from this stencil solution. For me, it works absolutely perfect. It holds the stencil for as long as I need the stencil to hold, and I find using Electrum that I do not get carbon bleed on skin as much as I would with any other brand. The last thing I want is to put on a stencil that's got loads of detail in it and all those details bleeding together because of the stencil solution. I do not get that with Electrum. It is mint. I do not see myself using anything else other than Electrum. Now I've used many different process butters in the past. I've used Hustle Butter. I used to be sponsored by a brand called Yayo, but I'm currently using a brand called Butterlux. Now when it comes to process butters and Vaseline, I honestly never really find much difference between Vaseline and any processed butters. They can take out redness and they can soothe the skin, but honestly I work so light that I'm very rarely irritating the skin and need the actual Butterlux. I could use Vaseline and I could easily get on with it. If Butterlux or any processed butters were not in my life, I would be okay. However, this Butterlux, I'm currently using the orange flavour, smells, oh my god, divine. Like, it smells so good, and it is really nice to work with. It doesn't clog up the needle, and it also doesn't get rid of my stencil. And it is a UK company also, so I'm supporting the home team. And I just want to point out, guys, that for me, processed butters, the only difference is smells. That is it. For me, that is the only difference. I mean, you can get processed butters that are like vegan friendly, so if you are vegan and you want to use a vegan friendly processed butter, they do them, and I think Butterlux might be vegan friendly. I'm not sure, but I think it might be. On to the next. I did a review on this a few weeks ago, and that is the Critical Universal Power Supply. Now I used a normal power supply for the entire duration of my tattoo career up until last month when I actually got the Critical Universal Power Supply, and I love it. Now you can check out this video for the review. Like I said in that review, there is a few cons for me, and those cons still do stand, but the freedom the wireless power supplies actually provide is awesome. I'm not constricted at all, and the charge time on these things is awesome. I have used these now on multiple tattoo sessions now, and I cannot get the battery to drop below 1 bar, and I am running between 8 volts and 10 volts, and it just will not drop below 1 bar. It's a brilliant piece of kit, guys, and I would highly recommend picking one up. Now guys, onto the final bit of kit in my tattoo arsenal, and that is an iPad Pro 11-inch. Now I used paper stencils for the best part of my career, and I only ended up getting an iPad Pro because everyone else in the studio was using them, and I'm gonna be honest, I felt a little bit left out. Now when I got the iPad Pro, I also bought the pencil. If you are gonna use iPads for your stencils, I highly recommend picking up the pencil because that also is an awesome bit of kit. Now what I found using the iPad Pro and Procreate is that you can stencil so much more detail. Often when you are using a printout and using a paper stencil, the printer doesn't pick up all the details, so you can't actually get in as much detail on your stencil as what you might want. The iPad Pro, you don't have that problem. You can zoom in and you can get the smallest of details, no problem. That being said, also because you can get those details in and you can see those details a lot more clearer than you would on paper, it makes, in my opinion, for a better tattoo, because at the end of the day you can only tattoo what you can see, and you can either see less on paper or more on iPad. If you can see more on iPad, then you can get more in, equals better tattoo. So iPad Pro, guys, highly recommend to add to your arsenal of tattooage. And that is it, guys. That is what I'm using to do the tattoo process. Now there's a million other different brands that you can use. There's a million other ways that you can do something. However, this is just what I'm using, and I get a lot of questions on what I'm using, so hence this video. But guys, that is all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on bell notifications to get notified every time I upload a new video. That is a big one. Don't forget to like the video, drop a comment down below, let me know what you're using, and guys, I shall see you all in the next one. Peace!